start with invocation prayer. Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 13. We'll chant verses 5 to 10.
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम् छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखं सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम् अमानित्वमदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधिः दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु
So right now we are studying the portion from the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where he describes 20 qualities of a jnani, who is a wise person. How do you know you are established in this knowledge? You are going in the right direction in the spiritual path. And last week we studied quality number 3, harmlessness, ahimsa. So extremely important for you to understand what it means to begin with, and then how you apply that in life. Those who claim they are practicing ahimsa, they have no clue of what it means, actual practical application. They may feel they are applying it, but actually they are not. The reason is unrighteous people, they prey on such people who claim they practice ahimsa. But ahimsa or harmlessness means you cannot harm anybody. How can you? If you identify with another being, you cannot harm that person. Physical level, emotional level, intellectual level, spiritual level. So you completely feel one with that person, that being. But like I said, it is often being misunderstood. In fact, it is being misunderstood most of the times. And those who claim they practice ahimsa, they end up becoming passive people. And it is unrighteous people with hidden agenda, or it may not be even hidden agenda, they prey on such people. So for that, you have to understand the basic human constitution. I'm just recapping. So human beings can be broadly divided into either aggressive or passive. So we are using these two terms in a particular context. Need not be dictionary definition. So those who use their intellect, we call them aggressive, or you can use the word assertive. Those who do not use their intellect at all, those who predominantly function on mind, such people they can be termed as passive. So passive people can be good, passive people can be bad, but their lifestyle is mind driven. They don't mean to be bad, but they have picked up certain bad habits, perhaps in their environment or it's on herd instinct. So they don't question. So you can say innocently, ignorantly, they take to a negative lifestyle. It could be at all levels of their personality. Similarly, there are people who are like God fearing, good people, righteous people. But again, mechanically, they are being good. They are seeing their parents following certain values, higher values, which is great. But there is no intellect functioning. There is no logic. There is no reason. They don't know why they are following a particular path, which may which may be good. And aggressive people, again, you can divide them into aggressive good and aggressive bad. So it is aggressive bad people, aggressive meaning those who use intellect. So it is aggressive bad people who prey on the world, who prey on passive people. So you have to be aggressive good. Aggressive good meaning you use your intellect, but not for selfish reasons. Your intention is good. You genuinely identify with others. So unless and until you develop intellect, there is no way you can fight aggressive bad people. For being passive, you cannot fight them. How can you? So you may come across such people in your own home to begin with, in your workplace, in the society, in the community. So that's the very backdrop of Bhagavad Gita. That Krishna represents aggressive goodness. And Pandavas, you don't have to know the story. Pandavas, they were very good people, but they were passive. So therefore, Kauravas, their own cousins, who represent aggressive badness. So they preyed on Pandavas. So being good does not help. See, a lot of people they say this innocently. It doesn't pay to be honest. It doesn't pay to be good in life. No, how can it? How can you be unrighteous then? Since you function at the level of the mind, aggressive bad people they prey on you. That's what it means. So you have to use your intellect. And the last point and the most important point was it is intention behind your action that matters. Last week, at least 10-15 times, we must have repeated this sentence. It is the intention behind the action that matters, not the action. And practically everybody goes by the action. What is your intention behind the action? So you only know what is your intention. So harmlessness is the attitude which you entertain. And this is how you function in the world. But it's not being passive. So when you have to fight, you have to fight. And I'm using the word fight in the sense of being assertive. So you have to use your intellect and you have to understand your intention. It's the intention which makes the difference, not the action per se. So these were the main points. So any questions? Anything not clear to you?
Can we put Kaurava in a passive bad people?
No, aggressive bad.
How about Shakuni then?
No, forget to say nobody knows he's the masterpiece of aggressive badness.
Mm-hmm.
He's the emperor, the most, like, he's the manipulator in layman's language. He's the one who was the brain behind all the plotting and scheming and manipulation and whatnot. So the perfect example of unrighteous person who is using his intellect for absolutely selfish reasons.
Can we have an example of passive um, bad people?
Passive what?
Passive people, passive bad people.
See, passive bad people meaning those who take to negative lifestyle unconsciously. For example, you are born and brought up in an environment where, let's say, everybody is gambling or drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You unconsciously take to that lifestyle. Everybody in your town is going to a casino, and they are gambling. So that's what you have seen since your childhood. So you take to that lifestyle. Or it could be you do some kind of manipulation and all that. It's all mind based. It's not necessarily intellectually backed. So negative, sensual lifestyle. That is another way of describing. You indulge in all sorts of sensual activities. They may not be conducive for your spiritual growth, like wine, woman. Typical. But you don't mean to be that way. Just unconsciously, you're taking to that lifestyle.
Okay, thank you.
The best example is again from Charles Dickens, that novel. I think, is it? No, it's not Tale of Two Cities. Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
Oliver Twist. So you know that the Fagin, that old man Fagin. So he has a gang of kids. So he trains them to be pickpockets. All of them are pickpockets. Young kids, 6,
Yeah,
7,
yeah.
8, 9, 10, 12 years old. This is what they have seen since their early childhood. So you can't say they are aggressive, bad. Innocent kids, unconsciously, they are taken to that lifestyle of pickpocketing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Oliver Twist, they bring him into that environment. In fact, he is kidnapped, so he can't relate to that because he's so good. So Mr. Figgins and his gang of pickpockets is a very good example of passive bad.
Yes, thank you.
Say passive bad and passive good, what choices do they have, or what choice do they have in dealing with aggressive bad people at workplace, in your day-to-day life, in your household environment?
They don't have the choice. Therefore, they are called as passive because
Okay.
they are not using their intellect. So if you're not using your intellect, what choice you have? You'll be victimized. Whether you are passive bad, whether you are passive good, aggressive bad people, they will prey on such people. So there is no choice. That does not mean they don't have a choice. You have to develop your intellect. This is what we have been saying right from the beginning.
Thank you.
The word which we can use is victimization. You will be victimized. Passive person will be victimized. So the only choice is he has to develop and strengthen his intellect to deal with unrighteous, aggressive, bad. So they are using their intellect. So it's the intellect which fights the intellect.
But is it always fighting? Not necessarily, right?
No, I'm using the word fighting. Don't take it literally.
Right.
You use that word. This is how you deal with the world. See, for example, there is some politics manipulation in your workplace. So how do you deal with that? You know, if you don't use your intellect, you will be victimized. So I'm using that word fight in that, and not necessarily start punching people. You know, don't take it literally. All clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Good, excellent. Next quality number 4, forgiveness, shanti. Now, when we, even in the, I think in the previous chapter only, yeah, chapter 12, we spent a lot of time studying this quality, forgiveness, in 35 qualities of a bhakta, devotee. So, same thing is repeating, forgiveness, shanti. Now, forgiveness means growth. You can't forgive others by wanting to forgive them. So only when you have reached a certain level of understanding, certain level of maturity, when you are established in the higher values of life, then only you can understand how other people they are functioning. Actually, they are innocent. Why we are saying they are innocent? Because every human being is expressing his or her vasanas. Vasana is your inherent nature. So I am expressing my inherent nature. You are expressing your inherent nature, which may be good, which may be negative. So every human being is helplessly expressing his or her vasana. So how do these vasanas manifest? We call it chronology of an action. All of you know, 80-90% of you know this. That vasana will manifest as thought. Thought will manifest as
Desire.
desire. And desire will manifest as
Action.
action. So if your vasanas are positive, if your vasanas are noble, if your vasanas are spiritual, your thoughts will be noble, your desires will be noble, your actions will be noble. But if your vasanas are self-centered, you want to manipulate, so your thoughts will be selfish, your desires will be selfish, your actions will be selfish. So when you interact with the world, when you interact with people, it is extremely important for you to understand this. At least understand in theory, then with your association with this knowledge, you'll be able to apply this in life. That is forgiveness. So when you see something negative in life, somebody is self centered, right? And maybe you are the victim of his or her selfishness. One thing is you become vindictive. You want to take revenge. You stew in your own juice, and all negative feelings, emotions you entertain. Most people do that. So what is forgiveness? You understand that person is helpless. Helplessly he is expressing his negative nature. So once you understand this, then that itself is forgiveness. Are you following the thought flow? So therefore, you can't. How can you practice forgiveness? You cannot. So only when you understand how others are functioning based on their vasanas, so that maturity gives you that peace of mind. Internally, you are peaceful, you are calm, you are composed. But how you deal with that situation, there you have to apply is the intention behind action that matters. Are you getting the connection? So you may, I mean, you have to fight unrighteousness. So you have to deal with aggressive people, but internally you are calm and composed. That is forgiveness. We often give example of how we interact with children, all of us, 6, 7, 8, 9 year old, let's say, and some of them are like absolute spoiled brats. How would you interact with them? How would you relate to them? There is a good child, genuinely good child, very well behaved, nice, cute little boy or a girl, 6, 7, 8 year old. In contrast, there is a spoiled brat, like mean kind of a child, 6, 7 year old boy or a girl. How would you relate to a spoiled brat? Is my question. If you understand this, it is clear. Concept becomes clear. How would you relate to a spoiled brat?
With compassion.
Why? How? He comes and he breaks. We are having a party and he breaks, I don't know, everything. Expensive things he breaks. How would you relate to that?
You would relate with
Feel
intellect.
internally.
You would try to understand what they're doing and then try to relate with intellect, with how you should deal with them in an intelligent way.
Would you feel vindictive? Is your, like, let's say it's an heirloom, the whatever china you are using, you have sentimental values for that, and the spoiled brat comes and he breaks everything. This happened in my family long time back, so therefore I'm giving this example.
He's a kid and he needs help. That's all.
Probably the child is angry and emotional, and using these are the actions to let it out.
Mhm.
So understanding the emotion that the child is going through and probably trying to address to that would help with the situation.
With a smile on his face, he
Yeah.
breaks. Child. Yeah, I'm complicating
Oh,
it. See,
if
child
that
is a
is the
child.
case, probably
Sorry.
I'm like, if the child is putting a smile, I mean, the certainly what I think is probably the intention is different now. It's not that the child is emotional. Probably the intention is to, it could be seeking your attention. It could be, I want to harm. If that's the intention, means it's like probably try to understand the intention why child is doing is going to be, at least I would suggest to try that first
Uh, Child is
instead
a
of
child. What
acting.
intention? Yeah, unnecessarily we are complicating. Child is a child.
Maybe the child, you understand after this knowledge that child has its own vasanas and it takes time to change it. So, and it is your own child, you understand that. And you see that he's doing that, but you try to be patient and kind that because that vasana will act on the action, thought, desire, and action. So he comes out with that action. You understand now, so you forgive that and work with him, smile with the smile.
Child is a child. Why are
Child.
we complicating unnecessarily? Child is a child. But if an adult comes and does that, next level of analysis, if an adult comes and does that, see, all hell will break loose. Don't give answer because of lack of maturity. Don't. Let's not get lost in examples. I am just trying to explain the point. When it comes to the child, we are at a higher level. Are you all with me? But when it comes to the adult, both are at the same level. So how can you forgive anybody? It's impossible. That's what we see happening. Like two partners, you tell them, say sorry to each other, forgive each other. What forgiveness? They rather separate, they part company. They cannot forgive each other because both are at the same level. But if one person is at higher level, that person will understand that other party is innocent. So why we bring in child example? Because we all are able to apply that without exception, isn't it? But when it comes to adults, problem comes because both are at the same level. So therefore, forgiveness is a state. It is growth. When you are established in the higher values of life, you understand that other person is helplessly expressing his inner nature. And there are three amazing quotations. So if you understand these three quotations, it will help you to understand the concept. Can we have the quotations one by one? To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. Whole life you are carrying that grudge against somebody. So who is a prisoner? You are a prisoner of what? When you are vindictive,
of the
when you want
grudge.
to take revenge, who is the victim? Who is the prisoner here?
You,
You are the
Hmm?
prisoner.
you are the,
You are the prisoner. Prisoner of what?
Of
Of
my
the
own
grudge.
emotions.
Mental agitations, worry, anxiety, that negative feelings you are entertaining. So when you let go of these negative feelings, what happens?
you become free.
You're free, you're peaceful, you're calm, you're composed. Next definition. Happy and blessed hour when wickedness stands forth revealed as goodness bereft of its guide. Maurice Maeterlinck, we often give this quotation. What a statement. When you see negative quality in somebody, you understand that that person lacks guidance in life. He doesn't have higher values of life. Therefore, you see that negative expression. If you don't understand this, you'll be vindictive. Why there's corruption in the world? There is this, there is that. They lack guidance. They lack higher values of life. This is how you educate yourself. When you see, let's say, unrighteousness or any negative quality in somebody. And then the Mark Twain. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet releases as the foot crushes it. Forgiveness is the fragrance that flower is talking about. The violet releases as the foot crushes it. As the foot crushes it. That's the key point. Even when somebody is nasty to you, what fragrance you release internally. When your partner says, you are this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, it is easy to understand, what fragrance you release. Or your colleagues, they are nasty to you, what fragrance you release. What does it mean? Or you can release an odor. You have a choice. What fragrance you release. What does it mean?
What type of actions you're performing.
Mhm.
Even somebody hurt you, but still you know why that person is like that, understand and forgive them.
What fragrance do you release? If I say nasty things to you right now, what fragrance would you release? How would you release the fragrance? What does it mean? This is my question. You have a choice. You can release the odor also. The most foul smell also you can release.
How you react to the
Modesty.
situation.
Mhm.
Don't get irritated, just understand that that person is not, um, there is no growth spiritually, but you have it. So just calmly and quietly let it go.
Basically,
Maurice,
how you
you remind
react.
yourself of Maurice Maeterlinck. So goodness bereft of its guide. That is a fragrance. What is odor? I know these are stupid questions, maybe. I don't know. Some of you must be thinking, this is what we all are doing every day. When your partner keeps screaming at you over and over again, how do you release a fragrance or odor? What does it mean?
Whether you're irritated or at peace.
Absolutely. So therefore, forgiveness means what?
Peace.
Calm and peace and calm and mind.
Not getting it.
No agitation.
Forgiveness means what?
No agitation, calm mind.
Think
Intention.
and answer. Hmm?
Is the fragrance the intention rather than the action?
No, you're unnecessarily complicating. Forget about intention now. Past quality.
How about having a sympathy to other person? Even though they are saying bad thing, but you are calm, collective, and thinking that is the way that person is. And you have
No complications. One word answer. What I want
It's a
is
growth.
a one word
Growth
answer.
or a state.
That's it. Therefore, see, we started off with this, right? Forgiveness equals
growth,
equals your maturity. You're
maturity.
being established in the higher values. And then we explain what it means. So therefore, we are concluding forgiveness means what?
Maturity.
Maturity, your growth. So you have to put efforts in what?
In growing up.
In growing up. Beautiful. Otherwise, there is no way you can forgive anybody. It's not possible. So, one of the finest qualities you can have as a human being. That is quality number 4. Next quality, number 5, is uprightness. Arjavam is a Sanskrit word. English translation is Arjavam. So, you have to be true to your conviction and conscience. So only when you are following your conviction and you're following your conscience in life, you can be upright. You can be true to yourself. So what is conviction? Don't act on whims and fancies of your mind. Do not act on likes and dislikes. Do not act on impulses of your mind. Use your intellect to guide all your activities in the world. So whatever you are doing, whatever activity you are doing, for example, you want to study Vedanta. I'm giving you a simple example. One thing could be it is just an impulse. You're acting on likes and dislikes of the mind, or it's just a whim. Somebody told you, you got fascinated by it, and you plunged into it. But then after a while, it will go away. You will not be able to maintain that inspiration. So conviction is what? You understand the importance of this knowledge. That why do I need this knowledge? Do I need this knowledge? You understand that what is it that you want in life? I want to become a better human being. And I believe that this knowledge gives me that technique so that I can become a perfect human being. So therefore, I will follow this knowledge. So it is backed by your
intellect.
Backed by your intellect. So using your intellect, you come to a logical conclusion. So that logical conclusion is called as conviction. Why do I need to do exercise? Why do I need to follow a particular diet? Why do I need to avoid certain type of company? So whatever you're doing, even following your own in your own profession, right from the young age, yes, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become a politician, I want to become a sportsman, whatever. So you have that goal, and that goal is backed by logic and reason, your intellect has thought about it. And then you take to a particular course of action. So that particular course of action, which is backed by your intellect, is called as conviction. And sometimes it may happen that you don't know what should I follow a particular course of action, should I do this, should I not do it. So that time you have to listen to the voice of your own conscience. Conscience is like a mariner's compass. We often give this example. Like mariner's compass is always pointing towards north. So when you're getting lost, if you're hiking, what is those who are used to hiking, they will know what I am talking about. If you feel you're getting lost, so how do you get your bearings? How do you get that sense of direction? Oh, this is north. So once you understand this is north, then you know where you are. So similarly, conscience in you is always pointing towards the higher values. It is always pointing towards the supreme reality. That's the direction. So when you feel that particular action, I'm confused. Should I do this? Should I not do it? So if you deviate from the higher values, if you deviate from the path of supreme reality, something in you tells you that what I'm doing is not correct. There's a sense of remorse, there's a sense of guilt. That is conscience. This is how conscience functions. But day-to-day life, whatever activities you are doing, you have to use the conviction of your intellect. You have to use your intellect. Most people, they function on whims and fancies of the mind, the impulses of the mind. Whatever you do, the way you relate to your children, the way you relate to your partner, the way you manage your profession, the way you manage your finances, all aspects of your life. Most people, they act on the impulses of the mind. Use your intellect. Even if it is weak, doesn't matter. At least you are thinking and acting. So you think, you weigh pros and cons, you understand this is my goal, this is the course of action I have to take. That is a function of the intellect. That is conviction. And when you're not clear, listen to the voice of your what? Conscience. So when you follow the conviction, when you follow the voice of your conscience, then only you can be upright. You can be true to yourself. That's what it means. See, otherwise you will try to please others. The opposite of that is you try to please others, and you may please that person, but actually you're not being true to yourself. So therefore you are false to other person. Are you getting the connection here? You may try to please another person. It could be your own partner, it could be your own children, it could be your own colleagues. So if you are doing it repeatedly, what kind of a lifestyle you are, what kind of a life you are living? So you are being false to yourself. Therefore, you cannot be true to anybody. You will be false to others. That's what Shakespeare beautifully explains. To thine own self be true. Can we have that PowerPoint? To thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. What a statement. This above all, but the most important point, to thine own self be true. How to be true to yourself? Follow your conviction and your conscience. So if you do that, and it must follow as night the day, this is how you consistently function in life. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Then you will not be false to anybody. Otherwise, you will live your life to please others. So use your intellect, listen to the voice of your what?
Conscience.
Conscience. See, these are typical concept for group discussion. I mean, I cannot explain beyond a point. So you can take it up as a question, what does it mean to be false to another person in this context? Are you with me? Then the group can discuss and come out with your own whatever answers. Are we okay?
Well, to be true to yourself, you have to focus on what was my part in this instead of blaming others and not seeing what you did.
Yeah. See, if you are following your conviction, there is logic, there is reason, there is analysis. Doesn't matter what others think about you. I'm giving you simple example. Others may misunderstand your action. See, I don't know, maybe 3-4 people the last couple of years, they have come to me and they said, my family members, they are not allowing me, they're not cooperative. I attend these classes or sometimes I go for the retreats and all that. There is tremendous pressure on me. They don't allow me to participate in Vedanta activities. So how do I deal with the situation? To which I said, fine, I mean, it's okay. Once in a while, you have to make an exception. Use your sense of proportion. It's not that you're fanatically attached to attending Vedanta classes or the retreats and all we do. But if demand is all the time, no, you can't do this. How can you attend Vedanta? Then at some stage, you need to act on your conviction. Otherwise, you may try to please it. That person could be your own partner, could be your friends. You may try to please, but you are false to that person because you're false to yourself. But if you're true to yourself, you'll be true to other person also. It's a simple example from day-to-day life I am giving you. It may apply to your own profession also, that you're highly focused in your own career, whatever profession you are. And there could be tremendous pressure on you to attend parties, socializing and all that. You may do that once in a while. Why not? But beyond a point, if you do that, then you're not being true to yourself. Though you may participate, but you're false to yourself. These are the examples I can think of. This is how you apply this in your day-to-day life.
By this definition, Duryodhan is upright because he followed his conviction. He listened to his conscience. So how does that fit into our paradigm?
It is like terrorists. Duryodhana is nothing but a terrorist. It is like terrorists killing innocent people. Now, what conviction he has? Conscience, forget about conscience. Conscience always directs you towards the higher values. Conviction, what conviction is? All mind-based action. There is no intellect, there is no thinking involved there. And end of the day, he is a victim of his own mind. It's like terrorists who brought down Twin Towers in America. They also had some conviction. Now, what kind of conviction is that? Where is the conscience there? There is no question of conscience. So therefore, you have to use your conscience. You get me? Convictions could be wrong, but your conscience will not let you down in life. Even if you are about to do something negative, I understand your question. It's a good question. If your intellect is, if you're not established in higher values, you may come to a wrong conclusion. A lot of people, they come to a wrong conclusion. Yeah, it is okay. You have to be self-centered to be successful in life. I heard so many people, at the age of 22, I heard this sentence. One of the so-called well-known consultant, he told us, we were just 22, 23 doing MBA. You guys, you want to be successful, you must do a little bit of evil, see a little bit of evil, otherwise you can't be successful. So many of my colleagues, they became selfish, So your intellectual conviction can be wrong because you don't have higher values, but your conscience will not let you down in life. This is how you correct yourself. So Duryodhana, what conviction? He's a terrorist. He's the most unrighteous person. There is no conscience functioning. Your conscience, that voice of the conscience, is drowned by your self-centered desires. So it does not function.
Then why does he go to heaven and the Pandavas go to purgatory, for example?
No, you're complicating. Let's not get into the stories. See, these stories, they have got no meaning without this knowledge. Every part of the story has got some meaning. Without this knowledge, it has got absolutely no meaning. So don't bring in a part of the story which is not in the context of what we are discussing. That is unrelated here.
Okay.
See, that's the problem. If you get into these stories without this knowledge, there's absolute confusion. Most people, they get into the stories minus knowledge. Therefore, nobody really learns anything. But if you have this knowledge, you will be able to understand on your own. I don't have to explain to you. On your own, you will understand. The whole story speaks to you. So that's not a way to go about, Ravi. You get it?
Mm-hmm. Sir, I have one more question. So we are talking about all these characteristics, gunas. So if I'm practicing forgiveness, but I haven't really understood ahimsa, so my question is, do these are these prerequisites from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so forth?
See, they are interconnected, Ravi. They're interconnected. See, for example, you are forgiving, somebody has been nasty to you. So internally, you forgive that person. How can you not? Go back to the child example. But in a particular situation, you have to act in a particular way. So there, what is your intention behind the action that matters? That concept comes handy. Again, go back to the child example. Yes, we forgive the child who is breaking China. But that does not mean you don't correct the child. The mother may come and she may drag the child by the hand. Child may create a scene. So it's the intention behind the action that matters. Others may say, how could she do that? Mother is forgiving. But the action is she has to correct the child at that moment. So it's the intention behind the action that matters. So they all are interconnected, all these qualities. So all these are mental characteristics. This is what you need to understand. That's your mental attitude. But when it comes to action, it is contextual. That's the confusion people have. Otherwise, it will be absurd. You'll end up being a victim in any situation in life. So internally, you feel this way. That's what gives you that peace, that calm. You're composed. But when it comes to action level, you use your intellect and you do whatever situation demands. So that confusion, most people, they have that. Are you okay?
Thank you.
Next quality number 6. Service to the preceptor. Service to your own guru. Guru is telling his disciple, serve me, Krishna, So what it means is attitude of gratitude. If you understand this quality, forget about the way he puts it. Service to the preceptor means attitude of gratitude in life. And human being without gratitude is not a human being. Period. See, therefore, traditionally, some of you have been studying Upanishad lectures, It's a tradition at how student approaches the master. Good old days, master was somewhere in the Himalayan jungles or wherever, living on like bare minimums. So the student thought about his guru's needs even before he meets him. Yes, maybe he needs some whatever, ABC, some supplies he needs, maybe he needs some fire, I have to carry some sticks or something. So he approached Guru, his teacher, with that. So what it indicates is attitude of gratitude. And if you don't have that gratitude, you will not learn this knowledge. Any knowledge you will not learn. Forget about spiritual knowledge. Yes, you will learn the knowledge. Rather, you will learn the words. You will just get information. It will not bring about transformation in you because you're selfish. You don't have that attitude of gratitude. So that gratitude calms your mind. And that model, many traditional places they are following. I come from Vedanta Academy. All of you know that. So our entire institution is run by the students. 3 weeks back, we had a massive flood. The whole ashram was submerged while international retreat was going on. There were guests from all over the world, 65, 70. And overnight, water started rising. 2 feet, 3 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet. Luckily, everybody was safe. We could evacuate everybody, but the entire ashram was gone, literally. All the buildings were submerged. So the massive damage. So all the students, they are staying in Pune now, about like 25, 30, maybe more, boys and girls from all over the world. So 60 to 70% of them, every day they are going to our ashram, which is about 1.5 hours drive from Pune. I'm in Pune right now. Whole day they work and they come home in the evening. Everything they are doing, from cleaning or whatever has to be done. So that attitude of gratitude. I'm giving you a simple example from day-to-day life. Even our institute, Vedanta Midwest, is run by the volunteers. I just come, talk, and I say bye-bye. That's all. But what actually happens, I don't know. I mean, I know, of course. All the activities, they're handled by the volunteers. That attitude of gratitude. So if you don't have that gratitude, opposite of gratitude is what? Self-centeredness.
Yeah.
So you will receive, even now I'm talking to you, yes, you are receiving information minus transformation. If it is backed by that self-centeredness, So therefore, Shakespeare tells us that one of the worst human quality is ingratitude. He talks about various villains, and the worst villain is who? The most unrighteous person is who? Shakespeare I'm talking about.
An
All these are
ungrateful
interconnected.
person. An ungrateful person.
Ungrateful person. Brutus. Therefore, he says it was the unkindest cut of all. When Brutus stabbed Julius Caesar, he describes that cut, Shakespeare. It was the most unkindest cut of all. It's wrong English. You don't say unkindest. So that act was so horrible. He breaks all language barriers. Who was Julius Caesar? He was his benefactor. How could you think of harming your benefactor? It's like stabbing your own parents. I'm magnifying. Or stabbing your own teacher. Can there be a worse human being than that? Same thing happened to Macbeth. Duncan was his benefactor. He killed him. So therefore, the worst quality in a human being is ingratitude. Without gratitude, you're not a human being. So that we highlight. So you have to have that gratitude towards your parents, towards your partner to begin with. We often give this example. Man has to have gratitude towards a lady. The lady has to have gratitude towards the man. If you don't need a female companionship, then why are you in a relationship? Do you get the point? It applies for both man and a woman. You're fine on your own, but you need a lady companion. Lady needs a man as a companion. Certain needs cannot be fulfilled. Both need each other. So man should be grateful to his wife. Husband should be grateful to his wife. Wife should be grateful to who? Husband. You should be grateful to your teacher. You should be grateful to your society. You should be grateful to your nation. How can you demand from the nation, which has already given you something, everything in fact? And that's not what you do. We claim our right. This is my right, you know. So that quality, that ingratitude, it will manifest in all levels of your personality, including your relationship to begin with. So therefore, when he says service to the preceptor, he is talking about attitude of what?
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Next quality, quality number 7, which we'll do next week, but I am just going to explain briefly. Purity, shaucha, which incidentally we did in the last chapter in 35 qualities of a bhakta. Purity means saucham. Now, what he actually means is a state of perfection. A state of perfection is a state of desirelessness. Human being minus desires equals divinity. So, as long as you have any desire from absolute level, it makes us what? As long as you have any desire, I'm talking from the absolute level. As long as you have any desire, it makes you what?
Self-centered.
Self-centered.
It makes you impure. You're talking about
And more
purity.
desires.
Your own desires. So what makes you impure is your desires. Understand this carefully. From absolute level, even a single desire, even the highest desire is impurity. But yes, from relative level, we understand that selfish desire is the maximum impurity in all of us. It's like a pyramid. I'm going to show that PowerPoint next week. Just try to imagine mentally the pyramid of desires. So the top portion of the pyramid is the state of desirelessness. The bottom state of the pyramid is all selfish, negative desires. So we all are somewhere in between. You find out where you are. The mission in life is to move from the bottom of the pyramid to the top of the pyramid, and top of the pyramid is the state of desirelessness. So the entire spiritual path is nothing but purifying our desires at all levels, at action level, emotion level, thought level. So I will explain this next week when we are fresh. So any quick question before we conclude?
I have a quick question. So if the ultimate goal is to have no desires, and in my case, I would think that I'm stuck. I won't have any. What would I do? Just sit and meditate? We can discuss this next time, but that's my confusion.
No, when you see the pyramid of desires, when we show that PowerPoint, you will understand. It becomes quite clear.
Okay, thank you.
Service.
Yeah, all right. So quick announcement. On July 29th, we all will be watching Swamiji's lecture. It's called as Cardinal Values of Life. See, it's like we are celebrating Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is a tradition we celebrate in India, where we pay homage to all the great masters who have given out this knowledge to us. So his entire life, on the occasion of Guru Purnima, Swamiji gave a public lecture till 5 or 6 years back. So on 29th of July, you'll be receiving that link. I think all of you must have received that email. So on 29th or maybe 27 or 28, Vijay will send that link to you. Where is Vijay? Yeah, so anyway, you will receive that link. and you can watch that lecture. It is on 29th from 9:30 to 10:30, but you can watch the recording also. That link will be valid for a week or so. It's a very good topic, cardinal values of life, and is given out by Swamiji himself. It's from the archives. Swamiji gave that talk maybe 20 years back, 25 years back. So you can note down July 29th, 9:30 to 10:30 if you can watch it that time. Otherwise, you can watch the recording for a week. All right, so I will see you tomorrow in case you are attending Governing Business and Relationships. Otherwise, next week.
Thank you.
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 Yeah,